Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? What is up? We are ripping. NQ is ripping. What up, Hodago? Good morning, good morning. $42 looking to revisit. Yeah, so bullish this morning until proven otherwise. Reasons why, there's quite a few. If you look on, we have a huge SMT on these lows from big SMT with NQ and ES sitting down here from London, pushing us back up, as well as obviously a ton of LRLR liquidity, whatever you want to call it, trendline liquidity going down to or going all the way back up. There's no order blocks or anything to really stop price from running these highs, as well as if we draw our hourly structure from her and then going down. We never broke structure to the downside. A structure as in a candle body close below. So we just had a sweep and then a close back up inside the range with price pushing higher with an SMT, and that's not the only. And then so those are the few reasons that I'm obviously bullish here until proven otherwise. Proven otherwise with a structure close back below. Otherwise, we're still just getting delivery off of this hourly breaker down here, and price is most likely on its way back to all-time highs. Now, the plan on open will be to get a retrace, hopefully back to London, because neither ES or I like the hourly order block sitting at the highs of London here, as well as the hourly BISI with a retest of London. ES did not tap London, so I could hopefully we get a retrace back. The other thing that's keeping me bullish here is if we draw our hourly dealing range. So this is our dealing range. I drew that wrong. I just drew it wrong as in. Let's go with that. All right. So that's your hourly dealing range. Look how the body's respected the 25% of that hourly dealing range, and now we're pushing back up with a body close through 50. Um, if you're not getting candles closed below 25%, you're probably not bearish like in this instance. It looks like we will have another RTH gap formed at open. So kind of like yesterday, how we took a short to the RTH gap fill. Maybe we can do the same, or wait for the RTH gap fill and then look for a potential long. But a retest of London would be ideal to try and get long. I would say this morning, and then we'll see where our negative fours line up as well to uh, see if there's confluence, just like yesterday. Remember with the RTH gap, but as SMT bodies of the 25% of the hourly dealing range being respected. Obviously, the hourly order block we pretty much bounced. This was almost CE of that daily order block. So price just like I said, just in some hourly consolidation. Hopefully, it's not slow. Like I said, we do have FOMC minutes this afternoon, but it's just minutes. So I wouldn't imagine we're gonna have probably going to jinx it here, but imagine we won't have terrible PA. If we do have terrible PA, I wouldn't necessarily. It's just because of that it's how it's kind of been lately. I think I mentioned it yesterday. I think options mentioned it yesterday in stream too. How the lack of hourly fair value gaps, either bullish or bearish, is pretty significant right now. So best case, we're gonna move back down to London to then push higher, but we'll just go from there and see what price wants to give us. But ES is just straight ripping as well. Let's check out ES's dealing range. So ES technically broke structure to the downside, so that's something we need to pay attention to as well. So we got structure to the upside, right? ES actually closed below this low where NQ didn't. ES actually mitigated every single order block to the downside, um, which means the dealing range for ES would be here to here, which this shows us what that we're in a clear premium here. So something to pay attention to for ES today. YM pretty much the same thing. Straight ripping. YM retested London though. Okay, so that's interesting. So ES or YM got the London retest. And then real quick, we'll check out gold. Why is gold a different color? Gold, not too much for me. Gold broke structure to the downside. This is actually a 15-minute break of structure to the upside for gold. This is actually so this would be the 15-minute ROB. So keep an eye on this right at midnight in the ROB for gold. If we start getting a structure break like on a lower time frame back out of here, so something like this, we can maybe frame a potential gold long today as well. So other than that, we'll stay patient like normal. We'll see what open has to give us overnight, especially for A1 in particular. Obviously, we had the SMT on London. Had a beautiful, obviously very hindsight. I had a beautiful unicorn setup here for 5-minute breaker with your 5-minute fair value gap with your breaker structure. Base textbook 2022 model right out of London here. Another reason to be bullish. Just looks like a straight buy model. Um, that's the exact signature that you look for. So basically, we'll be looking for some kind of continuation pattern to go higher. So I would expect these lows to hold if we're going to continue up today. I would not expect these lows to go. So best case, we get to move back down to like the 910 area to then push higher. But all right, we have got open in 30 seconds. We'll see what we get. What are you guys thinking today? You guys thinking bearish, bullish? Can't imagine. Seems like a pretty. I just hope it just doesn't rip without us though. And we'll pay attention to. I guess we can watch 928, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be a 928 entry. 928 would be scary, just sort of feel like. But remember, we'll mark out the RTH gap here on open. All right, so there's open. All right, so far, really pushing the negative fours. Negative fours lining up right at London. Oh no. Okay, so we could still move a little bit. Notice our negative fours moving down. I expect some kind of consolidation potentially at the 75% of this dealing range as well. If we blast through it, there's a chance we we'll probably consolidate here, build up liquidity before making a new leg higher. Tends to be the areas where you get accumulation, kind of like what we did at 50% here as well. So we're not chasing though. We're just waiting. We're waiting for a clean setup. Right now, a clean setup would be a retrace back to basically 8:30 open. Back to here because this would be your 1-minute discount. yeah, A1 pretty much. But negative 4 almost takes us back up to what, July 3rd highs. Actually, I think that's all-time highs, right? Yeah. So negative 4 takes us right back up there. So the question is, can we just form an entry inside of this buy model to get long? I know we're not going to be chasing up here. So negative 4 basically takes us back to London. The highs of London where price has not retraced back into, so could definitely see that getting tapped into as well. So that would be like a textbook long off of negative 4. The other thing was midnight, strangely enough, is like CE of London as well. So, but like I said, it's not something I'm looking to short to. Just if we get there, these are just areas of interest that I'm looking for a bounce to try and get long, because we're obviously not going to chase here. What's old ES doing? ES running into. So if ES is going to reject and go lower, this is the last spot that it could happen. Right, higher time from order block. Everything else mitigated up higher. This is the dealing range right here. So if remember takes this, it's a no brainer. It's going back to all time highs. It, what's old gold doing? So I don't have any interest in gold until it taps into this ROB. So I will put an alert here for gold down here at 3302. Let's look for potentials. But so far just waiting, just waiting and staying patient. And definitely not a spot you want to be chasing right now. I'm running into 75% of that dealing range. Let's grade out. I want to get rid of this for now. I want to grade out the daily swing and see about where we're sitting. That's what's going on. It's not extending right. There we go. That's better. All right. So if you look at the daily, another thing to notice with the daily, you're basically holding 50% of the daily swing. But this thing just ripping without a retrace. So there's not much else for this thing to run into. This little doji, this order block, it's all been tapped into already. Right, you got hourly order block up here on the highest, already tapped. There's no reason for it to reject there again and go like all the way back down. Yep. Probably, Ron. Probably looking at a rip and a chop. If you guys don't know, we are live on YouTube today. So we around 10:15, if we are not in a trade, we're going to do the jungle standard and do an old fashioned duck race for a 150K TPT test account. So, but to be eligible for that, you need to be inside of the Discord live stream and in the audience, so I can see you're in here and enter your name into the thing. So if you're on YouTube and you're not in the Discord and you want to be entered, make sure you join and get inside the free stream today to get your name in the basket. Oh, I sound like a car salesman there. All right, come on, NQ. Um, strong 15-minute Bissy through 75. Oh, no, that's the daily. Okay, so let's go back to the hourly swing because that's a little bit more needed for just this swing in particular. So we'll see if we get a Bissy through 75%. That all but confirms. The problem is on your dealing ranges like this. You guys, we talk about a lot in the jungle. We're going to a CB model. Basically means we get up close to a high, and when we don't take it. But what happens is you get all the way up here. They'll generate liquidity. You even get some kind of AMD potentially back down to 75, and then you get to move back up. So you have to be careful of that. And that's why it's just vitally important that you don't chase price up here thinking, oh, I have 10, 20 easy free points here, because then this happens up here. Generate liquidity, a little bit of accumulation, a little bit AMD, shake and bake, and then we go to the highs. So, but if that happens, there is a chance that we can look for a retrace or like a retest of that. So like what I just had drawn, we can look for this. Maybe we can find an entry off 75 and push higher. But the QB, what happens at 10 o'clock here? Do we get some kind of manipulation move down? Hopefully that's best case. Yeah, we'll do it about 10-15 though. That way that gives us the macro. If and as long as we're not in a trade, we will hold the duck race. For those that don't know, the duck race is just like an online, basically a random generator, but it's like a virtual duck race. Everybody has their own duck. And if they win, guess what? You win a take profit 150K account. There will be a change for the PM. Plyo will be streaming on YouTube instead of TikTok. So a rigged has random generator. Yeah. So that's actually is Plyo in here? He's not in here. That's the it's so if you stream on TikTok, you have to have a face cam. So Plyo just found that Plyo just found that out, and that's why we're making a switch. Or so he's making a switch to YouTube. He's saving the face reveal for the Jungle Cruise or whenever the jungle has a meetup. That's what he's saving his face reveal for. So I did not know that about TikTok either, but I feel like it's hard to stream on TikTok though with just a vertical. That'd be a small screen. Man, there's not much we can do here. Holy crap! Like I said, we'll get a retrace. I'm not trying to short it though. We'll just stay patient. We'll wait for a retrace. We can stream for quite a bit today, so we'll stay on. Maybe options. It's definitely seems we're gonna get all-time highs today. Just because I only say that because of -4 sitting up there. If you don't know what -4 is, I think I put it in the link description on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. But yeah, we'll see if we can reach it. Like I said, that's why you want to be chasing. Gold did alert here, so gold tapped into the 15-minute ROB. I gotta change this. All right. Sorry if I blinded. Sorry if I blinded you. All right. So we'll look for any kind of move out of this 15-minute ROB. Like I said, I'm not just gonna blindly buy it. But seeing NQ just wants to rip, gold might be a play. So we'll see if we get a 1-minute break back up for gold. So we'll just keep an eye on it. For what it seems, options. I hope not. Even if we don't get all-time highs for AM, save it for a PM. Because I would venture to guess we're gonna go up here, chop for an hour or two, maybe have a little fake move down. Maybe you get 50% of. I will say 50% of this move down could be a spot for a nice long as well. Maybe a little, maybe down to the devil's mark down here too. But that would be best case. It's only way I see to get into this without absolutely chasing price, and definitely not going to do that. Did we tap into discount again last night? So this was like your hourly bullish swing. Was that that was yesterday? We hit 50% to the tick. Didn't even see that yesterday, so that lined up basically with the RTH gap yesterday. Speaking of RTH gap, while we're sitting here watching this thing just rip, Okay, so our RTH gap takes us to down to about 905. To be exact, would be 903.25, which basically takes us right back to a retest of London. So the first company reached 4 trillion. Wild. Seen Apple was pushing all-time highs again today. Um, this is our weekly. I didn't even say this. Last week's weekly candle basically right off 50. Joining late. Like I said, we're just waiting for potential retrace. Look for any kind of retrace for 50 to take this up to -4 and all-time highs. But we'll see if price wants to respect 75, the 0.75 now. This 5-minute busy is probably a good long. To be honest, it's not in discount. It's still in a premium there. Did you finally watch it, Hill Doggo? Nice. All right, well, watch this order block for now. I guess it's not an order block yet. Just make sure we don't. If we close below it, that might be what you get enough to push you down to 50. But it looks like it's just going to hold. Hate to say it, but our best case for a long is a CB model of -4. Yes, blowing through the hourly order block pretty much confirms everything you need to see so far. YM is Ripple looks like we got okay, no SMT there. What's gold doing? So gold gave us a nice bounce out of that ROB so far. Still no 1-minute setup though. For a gold long, I want to see basically a move back over this and then a retrace, and then I know I'm good to go. Because then what does that mean? That means I have a 15-minute break of structure on this time frame, right? This would be your higher time frame break of structure. Higher time frame just being the 15, and then you're getting a 1-minute break of structure out of it. If you take a loss after a 15 breakup and then a 1-minute breakup, then so be it. It's a great trade. So we'll see if we get the close above. If we get close above, look for an order block on the retrace to take a long to higher prices for gold if we get it. So new alerts will be set to her. Let's see if we can't catch it. Because right now, ES is probably ripping too. We got NQ. Crazy. All you gotta do is long open. Red care. Yeah, please, something. The other move would be to look for shorts. I really don't want to short up at all-time highs. Could be more of a tape read, but But the one thing to take out of it, while we're obviously no trades, but why it's important to have your quadrants of your dealing range marked out, because look how price respects your 50, your 25. We'll see what 70 and what 75 does for us up here too. Obviously, this didn't matter yet because the dealing range wasn't fully put in yet. But you see how price sits around these levels. In best case, when you're at these 50% levels, for those that don't know, we talk about a lot in the jungle streams. But when you're at 50% like this, what happens? You're usually in accumulation mode. And it's not a spot where you want to be looking to enter any kind of trades, because that's where accumulation happens, right at 50%. So even if we can't take a trade, we'll try to spew some knowledge. We'll try. Anybody take a trade today? Let's see. This is probably a good suit. Why? Because you're nestled in with order blocks and a devil's mark. If I were along that, I would just close it if we stopped below it. It could be options. So remember, yeah, any moves that are straight up like this without entries usually tend are usually your manipulation moves. So absolutely could be, especially if there's an SMT up here. You could form a short. I think the only short I would try is if we got a 1 minute breaker, and gold is giving us a potential long here. All right, so we'll watch and see if gold wants to close above here in about 20 seconds. Because NQ, very, very rare do we see NQ go straight to -4 without giving us any kind of problems. But it looks like we hit 2 of the tick. So yeah, there's your -4. No CB model today. Gold's not going to close over. So we'll have to wait another 1 minute candle for gold there. We can close these levels. Not as important on gold. But gold's so far doing what it should be doing. I think we can target up to 33.19 if we can get an entry. All right, so we got to pay attention to -4 now, because we know we can always get a retrace off of -4 before all-time highs, especially if we close below her and get a 1 minute breaker to the downside. You'll at least see 50% of this 1 minute leg. I guess by the time you close below it, you're basically at 50% already. But again, why it's so important you have these -4s marked out. I finally got Mark convinced to start plotting them on his chart. So if it was enough to convince Mark, it's probably something you should put on your chart. Potentially Cobalt, potentially. If I was long, I would have been all out right before -4. You can keep those extra points before all-time highs. All right, so gold closed over. Where's 50% sit on gold? All right, I'm gonna have a order sitting on gold. Do not expect to take a gold trade on stream today, but I'm going to have a gold long entry sitting right at 33.06 with a stop loss of 3,300 right below these lows. Don't want to see them lows tap into again. So we'll let that play out. And then TP, we're looking for 33.19. Taking it all the way up to here. Obviously, low hanging fruit takes us to here, but there's not much. I guess there's about 6 points there. But so looks something like this for gold if we can get an entry. 33.06. Looking to go up here, but it looks like it's just gonna rip with a 3,300 stop out. So about a 2.5, yeah. GC, so a GC is $100 per point. It's $10 per every MGC. So it's basically I usually risk about 2 or 3 on a 50K, but it looks like it's just gonna rip anyway. A lot cleaner than so let's pay attention to NQ here. See if we close below this. See if we close below this and get the breaker. If we don't get the breaker, then it obviously means we're just going to keep pushing all-time highs. But so that's what you should be watching from a tape reading standpoint right now. But nonetheless, gold a lot cleaner than if you're on YouTube and you haven't watched the pathway series. Basically, my little course. It's exactly what it is: a breaker structure to the downside, breaker structure to the upside. It's actually, and this is your ROB, your responsible order block, the last order block formed before you broke structure to the upside, and then you look for continuation in price out of there. I don't think there was a FITO model entry for gold though. FITO model is just a 1 minute order block out of it. Yeah, so actually there was. This was the FITO model out of gold right here. Would have never got stopped out. Gold's gone. Unfortunate. The FITO model was the only entry I see. And notice this little signature in price. NQ not giving you the breaker, telling you that it is not bearish and does not want to go down. This is where if I was long and I had a runner for all-time highs and I trimmed, say, at -4, I would get out if we get a breaker here. Because that could be your sign that we get a much bigger retracement. 50% of the potential whole open swing could happen as off of that breaker. Might still get it. If you take anything from it so far, the power of -4. Gold's got a nice dealing range now. 50% right at this order block. I would expect price to hold that. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, ES cooling off here. This is what we talked about though, right? We talked exactly about this. Getting up here, engineering liquidity first. We're not gonna let anybody chase it, build up liquidity, and then run it when people least expect it. So we got a 1 minute bearish breaker now. Let's see if this pushes us down to 50%. Looks like we might already be at 50%. Not yet. Now this is not a breaker that I would short now with all-time highs right there, but it's more of a tape reading price action. Or order flow is I guess the phrase that I'm looking for. More of an order flow thing. here. Sorry, Jules. Let's just put minus breaker for bearish breaker. Just for you. Gold with a little retrace. We'll look for gold to hold this order, this little order block here. I'm not against taking a gold trade at or around 50. Still, there's no real liquidity's been run. I guess the first low hanging fruit target was hit, but all right. Let's see what happens at 50 here with NQ. All right, so watch this devil's mark. Pay attention if we close below it. Close below it should mean we push down to these order blocks. Devil's marks tell a lot. If you're coming down just for those, you should just be sweeping it and then going. And if you're not, if you close below it, it tells us that there's something else lower that price is going after. Which means, in theory, that your devil's marks can be very good turtle soups. And then your stop is if we close if we close below it, obviously, or if we start displacing, below it. I think I got a 5-minute breaker here with gold with a 5. I'm moving entries up for gold, up to basically 50%, right at this 5-minute order block and the breaker. So you got a 5-minute order block, 5-minute BISI, a breaker, everything here. If this trade fails, then I am completely okay with it. Something I would be content taking every single time. Entry's going to be at 307 with we'll just go with a 302 stop. All right, so that's the entry for gold right now. Small little play. Oh, and in the meantime, NQ takes all-time highs. Nice. So fake breaker. What seems. Like I said, I still don't want to short this. Anyway, but now we have a huge SMT though with all-time highs. I do believe. Yeah, SMT YM's not even close. So we got SMT, so we can potentially get a pullback here. Well, tell me we're going to get a larger time frame pullback is basically a close below here, right? You're breaking structure to the downside. Same concept we looked at on gold with the 15-minute ROB. You could look for a 1-minute ROB potentially to the downside. This is your what your 1-minute bullish ROB, right? You had a little pullback and back up to the highs, but like I said, this looks extremely bullish. What time is it? Right at 10 o'clock too. We took that high, and they say time's not a thing. Yeah. Oh, you already said that option. Sorry. Gold just does not want to pick me up, but it's okay. I will be picky. I will wait for my discount entry and will not buy in a premium. Would never overpay for a car. Why would I overpay for NQ? That is true. Options. We did not close. It could be a sweep. So be interesting to see if the 15-minute candle closes over. So if the 15-minute candle, obviously we have a sweep here. If we close back inside the range and start forming a BISI and a lower time frame breaker structure to the downside, that's confirmation that I would be okay looking for a short and looking for like a retrace to 50% of this swing. And in particular, it looks like 75% of that dealing range that we were in is going to line up right around 50. So that 0-20 level could be a nice target. Like I said, I'm not looking for shorts, but if the case is presented, in the RR is there, absolutely worth a shot. Said if gold takes a new high, I will remove my limit order from down here. I gotta fix this. So limit order sits right here now, just below 50, right at the 5-minute order block, the breaker. If you're wondering, this is your 5-minute breaker. Inside here, you got it's your unicorn. Just a bunch of things going on with NQ. So much, or with NQ with gold. There's so many confluences there. The gold going right on up with the indices today, which seems to be the norm kind of lately. Just kind of strange. YM is jumping. YM has almost taken back the entire opening move. ES holding pretty good, but YM is not happy right now. All right, gotta be careful because we could have a huge SMT with the 930 low if we were to try to frame a short here. So basically just looking for a close below here to confirm a break of structure to the downside. Then we'll absolutely try a short. If we have got to get the close, and then we look for a retrace 50 of here, and then look for lower prices. But only if price tells us though. Shorting like a 1-minute order block or something off of this, I feel is absolutely dangerous. I mean, obviously the risk rewards there, so if you want to try it, have at it, but not something that's in my repertoire. So now we have a whole new hourly dealing range though, right? Because we've taken a new high, so if we need to grade out this entire range, basically takes us back to what basically the 9 o'clock, yeah, about the opening prices. Some people would be like, well, why aren't you drawing it from here? Sometimes just on the hourly time frame, it's best to draw it from the last hourly swing low. Obviously, if you're looking, we know this happens on every time frame, right? Or we can have like this would be like your 15-minute like external. We can look for like where's 50 of it, like this. We can look for 50 of this, and just especially when we're extremely bullish, that this could be the only 50 that you get. This should be like your low hanging fruit. So absolutely, Jordan. Like I said, we're gonna try to start doing this on a regular set schedule. Now that I pretty much got a set schedule on base, back from deployment, all that good stuff. We'll try to have one free stream a week. So absolutely, no entries for gold though. Sadly, like I said, limit will come off if we take a brand new high. A little frustrating, but it played out exactly the way basically right off the model that I personally like to trade with the ROB. It works. Sometimes you don't get the entry, and that's okay. But it's always nice to still see it play out, because guess what? We'll get the entry next time. It's the real thing is, do you have the discipline to not chase because it's going without you? You didn't get your entry, so I should just get in. No. Do you have the discipline to not do that? So we gotta watch YM though. $9.53 open. Pretty good time level if you don't know, with options indicator. Highly recommend you plot that as well. Remember, all with that indicator, you can have -4, midnight, all your good levels. If you don't have it, I highly suggest it. All right, so gold took a new high, so I'm going to take that limit order off, unfortunately. Um, but remember what we talked about on gold? Talked about um, I'm actually okay with gold not giving the entry there, because look what happens. Remember, I drew out this 1 minute order block, and I was like, we should watch for a price here. Problem is, we did not get to a discount, and I'm not buying anything above 50%. So order block holds, tells you what this thing's extremely bullish at the first 1 minute order block, and the leg is continuing to support price. Not even getting to a discount. What's that tell you? Price is just extremely bullish. Um, so, so we look for price to hold this when it comes back down. If we get a close above, if you get a close above, this is your 1 minute ROB. Look for price to hold here to then send you up higher. But this is a little bit more risky, because why? You have an unmitigated 50 below, so the price could it makes this it makes this still a good order block, but not as good, because we know there's a reason for price could come back on a sweep these lows, hit 50, and then go back up. NQ looks like so far holding the ROB. Remember, this is the ROB. So if this ROB turns into a breaker, let's see, 1 minute ROB. So the other thing to go with ROBs is if they get inversed, they if they do not hold, like on gold, that 15-minute held, right? The 15-minute ROB held down here, this order block here. If they do not hold, we can use them for order flow purposes as well. So if we blow through it, what's that telling us? Price wants to go lower to the next. We need to look left. First target for me would be like this devil's mark. If I was to short, if this turns into a breaker, this 1 minute ROB turns into a breaker with it closed below, this would be the first low hanging fruit. Because why? We're blowing through there. We made the breaker. We have a breaker structure, basically a 2022 type model setup. Then looking at to take us lower. But so far, you see basically the same concept as gold. The ROB, just a tap of it and holding and sending price back to the highs. Now, because we had already hit all-time highs, it makes this RB like one that I'm not truly interested in longing. You could be like, well, why didn't you take it if it's an RB? Well, we just hit all-time highs. We know as ICT traders about longing right after we take, especially higher time frame liquidity like that. Granted, we do have the SMT, but I would rather at all-time highs. I would rather wait for a little more confirmation when it comes to shorts. And for me, that was waiting for a break of structure to the downside. Oh, we got SMT on these one, even these little 1 minute highs, or it was an SMT. Okay. Man, gold was the play. A 1 minute Fito model was the play. Be about 15 points already. If you don't know about the Fito model, like I said, you need to learn what a ROB is, and then it's just a 1 minute order block out of a 15-minute. Hopefully we don't just start chopping. Just very, very possible. Big move up and then chop. Oh no, I was muted. No. I don't know how long I was muted for. I've been talking to everybody. All right. No, appreciate that, Ron. Um basically I was saying I'm getting the duck race ready because we're just sitting here chopping. So I'm getting the duck race ready. If you're on YouTube, uh if you're on YouTube, to be able to be entered into the yeah, sorry guys. If you're looking, good thing we're just spending chop. Um I talked about gold and the fetal model. Gold's going to deliver, it looks like. But if you want in the drawing, basically the drawing, the duck race for a 150k TPT account, and you're on YouTube, you need to be inside the Discord in the free stream. Uh, to be entered because I need to be able to assign you and see your name to give you a duck for the race, which we will do here as soon as I get all the names going. So that's what I've been working on, and I am okay trying a short if we get this 1 minute breaker and inverse this 1 minute ROB. If this ROB cannot send us to a brand new high, that's showing bearishness. And if it's turning into a breaker, I like it for a small, lighter size short to go lower. I think I was also talking about gold. Gold's gonna deliver up to our buy side target, unfortunately. The Fido model, like I said, was the only entry. If you don't know about the Fido model, it's just it's a 1 minute order block that forms out of your 15-minute ROB, which your 15-minute ROB is here. It's the 1 minute that it happened. I personally just missed it, but that was the entry right there. That was the Fido. If you don't know about the Fido, I have it documented inside the inside the premium section, but I don't mind sharing that with anybody. So um, that was the only entry for gold, unfortunately, but it looks like it's. But all right, so we'll watch NQ. I'm gonna continue putting the names in. But I was talking to Plus EV. It's been a while. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a hot minute. All right, I'll finish up the names here. I only got about 10 more names to put in here. Jules, Captain, Top Notch. And for those that don't know, we do these giveaways we usually average 1 to 2 a week inside. So if you just win one of them, it pays for your monthly sub instantly, right? Especially these 150Ks. But all right, might take a minute here. Let's see if we get this breaker. Low hanging fruit target would be this this devil's mark down here. Remember, this could just be a failure swing where we just sweep the low and then push right back higher. But remember what we talked about? We had a 15-minute. The 15 minutes going to close. They'd already closed back inside the range, so if you get a sweep and close back inside the range and get a BISI or start to break to the downside, it's usually a good sign that you're going to get some kind of pullback. Basically, the T trades model. I think that's Mike's model. I don't see Mike in here today. I'm surprised. But so far a sweep. That's why we wait for a close under. It's a failure swing right now. All right, Josh, Nader. Oh, Hidalgo can't win. Moving on from IFVGs, yeah. Sounds like me. Yeah, so far no trade. So this could turn into a breaker. This could be your 1 minute ROB, your 1 minute bearish ROB. I know it's kind of confusing now because they're overlapping. This is not an ROB yet. How about that? Because we have a 1 minute breaker structure to the upside. So if this closes below, we get a breaker. And guess what? This is your last order block, bearish order block formed before we break structure to the downside. This turns into your ROB. So no close there, unfortunately. Just know I am taking this short if we get a close below. Low hanging fruit is here, and then 50 of the whole swing would be the next target. Because like option said, if this with a move like this, it could absolutely be your manipulation leg because the manipulation legs don't give you a chance to enter. There is no retrace. It's just a straight up. Remember, we had that yesterday as well. A good example was yesterday. Where was it? This yesterday. So yesterday we hit the RTH gap fill. Look what happens. We get a straight up pump. Look what happens. Boom. We recover the entire thing instantly. There was no entry here. I think there's a 1 minute inverse here, and that was it. And at that point, you're basically chasing up into these order blocks. But Uh, so this could be the same thing. So I think, like I said, the risk reward for a short up here is pretty good. The entry is going to be basically right at the breaker, 74. I'm not even on the chart yet. All right, so I'm going to have an entry here at 74. I just don't want to see us basically close back over this ROB. Low hanging fruit is 57 for first TP. Just before here. So I'd like to see us actually I'm going to be targeting 60 for first TP right at the order block. Right at the order block or a tag over, and we need to draw out 50 of the whole move. So low hanging fruit 50 would be basically down here to 17. It's a smaller position here, but the risk reward is well worth it because we're looking for this. And we have an SMT on the highs as well to back us up. So we're looking for something like this. You're short on ES. Nice. TP1. Obviously, we should hit that, but I'm okay taking it off at the order block first because we know order blocks can drive price back up. But so we're now, like I said, I think I got everybody's name still. Nobody else has joined. If you just joined, let me know. So I can get you entered into the duck race. Looks like we got a few new people, so I'll get your names entered while we wait here. Like I said, in the short here, we're just a robot now. All right, we have no emotions in this trade. Our stop is set, and I have a hard stop sitting at like 91, just in case there's a Trump candle. The real stop is if we violate and close over the ROB. So this is your 1 minute ROB right here. This is your 1 minute breaker right here. Let me change the color of this. There. So you got this is your breaker. You got a breaker and you got a bearish ROB right there with a breaker structure to the downside. So if price doesn't want to hold there, I'm absolutely okay being wrong. But when the risk reward is there and the model's there every time. All right, let me just make sure anybody else come in. Take profit. Did YM take that 930 low? It has not yet. That's good. That's a good thing. Not really a clean, like in terms of ICT, it's not necessarily a clean. It's a break of structure, but there's no like clear fair value gap here. That's why I'm just getting in right here on the breaker. Like there's no good 5 minute SIBI after a break of structure. There's not even really a one. There's not even a 1 minute SIBI after. So. All right, and we'll do the duck race as soon as this thing plays out. All right, so one came off there, and now we're just in runners. Now we're in runners looking for 17. I'm not at break even. I am not at break even. My stop is still up here. Worst case now, it ends up in about a break even trade, or we have runners down to 50%. So on MNQ, I have full TP sitting at 2320. Just in case there's any kind of difference in MNQ and NQ pricing. I'm actually going to hold a runner. I'm going to hold a runner and try to go for low hanging fruit down here at 970 at like 985 to try to get down to this lower 15. You're already entered, Dean. So the duck race is just an online duck race. I just type in all the names of all the people that are in chat, and you'll be assigned a rubber ducky, and I will show the race on the screen. That's all you gotta do. Just be in here. Like I said, we hit this lower 5 minute. So this is why we're targeting 17. I want to see fair value hit of this. All right, so if we're going back down to the 1 minute chart, realistically, would not want to see price. Obviously, we took the breaker of the ROB here. Really wouldn't want to see price through through this civvy should hold price now if we're going to stay bearish. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to take some kind of profit there. What was sitting there? Oh, it was just yeah. Okay, it was the order blocks. Duh. I was looking over here. And I'm like, where's the order block? They're already up here. We already went way below them. But I'm looking for this. Looking for this Sibby to hold price now. We don't even have to tap it. We don't have to tap it. I'd prefer we don't tap it and just go. But this should hold price with these order blocks up here now. So one thing's for sure, I did not expect to look at a gold long, and I did not expect to look at an NQ short today on stream. That's for sure. All right, looking for what did we just hit there? We just hit that lower 15. What did we hit? Oh, we hit the lower 5. We hit that 5 minute devil's mark there. I said missed my next trim, which was going to be the main TP, but I feel like this thing could have more. So right there's next TP. Final TP is sitting at 985. Final runner. Yep, the -4 as well. Look how we did not. We never got a body a 5 minute body close over. We never got a 5 minute body close over -4. It's a good point, Hill Doggo. So final TP is sitting right. Sitting right here, 985 on MNQ. We're not there yet, Casey. We're not there yet. Nice parry. I know, Casey. I know. It should be nice. All right. So hopefully this can hit. This thing might be going all the way back down to London. Like I said, I'll be full out. I'll be full out there. Completely content with that. Almost 100 points. Need one more stab. One more stab, and then we'll start this duck race. All right, so now what do we look at? So we know we're getting a little retrace here off of Looks like we probably just hit OTE. Yeah, we definitely hit OTE of this leg. So, for truly, like I said, we could absolutely still be 100% bullish here, and this is just a retrace to OTE. You know, as ICT taught us to then go higher. So let's draw it out and see where our OTE lines up exactly here. Say, see, we just tapped in OTE, get a little bounce there. But kind of clogs the chart with that up there. So, but in terms of continuation, now I'm looking for price to. That's not the fib that I want. I want this, this. All right. So now we know what. I mean, there's always a chance we could have a 50% retrace. Look for price to come back up into this Sibby right at 50. I don't recommend entering a short here because if this is truly an OTE play to then go all the way back up, you're going to get smoked. And yeah, I mean, we are at 50, so I mean, there's a 100% chance we could just keep on going. Like I said, this is one runner looking to take out just get into that lower 15-minute BISI down here. I'm assuming YM is already way, holy cow. YM hit -4 to the other side. Where's ES in terms of London? Yeah, ES might be wanting to get into London here. But if NQ is truly bullish, I would expect it to hold here. If it doesn't hold here, this is if we blow through this, I think we're gonna I think we'll continue a lot lower. SMT, all right. Yeah, I know there's obviously huge SMTs because YM's so low right now, but ES tapped into that BISI that I'm targeting for NQ. Looks like just looking to take out this low here, basically for a final TP. Looks like it might just stab down hard again, but and boom, all out there. Let's go. Let's go. If you're in a runner, hold for London. Hold for London, but I'm completely content there. Almost 100 points there off of the high. So yeah, that means we can duck race now. Who all caught a piece of that? Anybody catch a piece? Nice. Let's go. Everybody should be nice and green today. Everybody. Everybody should be nice and green. So from a price reading standpoint, you should look for price to hold here. Look for price to hold here. Price doesn't hold here. Right, this is your last, basically your order blocks. This is essentially your ROB that took us up to new all-time highs. However, it's not an ROB though, right? Because why is it not an ROB? Because we did not get up here. Remember what we talked about up here. Now you can full port your profits. Yeah, Cobalt, 100%. Like we were not going to chase this. It's starting to look like a huge manipulation leg, which we talked about. When there's no entries, it turns into a manipulation leg. We had the same exact example yesterday. And the big thing was we did not get a close above all-time highs on the 15-minute chart. We and the hourly. We closed back inside the range, And what was our confirmation? A break of structure with a breaker, a 1 minute ROB, last order block before we broke structure to the downside. Small entry, almost a 6.6 R trade. That's kind of scary. There, but that's why I want to be all out here, because if we're gonna bounce and still go higher, we're gonna bounce from here. This little area of consolidation and push higher, and with the SMTs. So it should be recorded, Cobalt. Yeah, because it's on YouTube live streaming, so it's always recorded. So with that, we will change the screens here. Let me make sure everybody has a name in the duck race. Nobody else new came in. I'll give anybody that's in YouTube. The Discord link is in the description. If you want to enter the race, you need to be in the Discord free stage right now, so I can see your name and get you a duck assigned. Oh, I would cry, Perry. I would cry. You drew your fibs from the wrong bottom. How'd you do that? All right, let me make sure I got everybody. Do not leave. If you want to be in the drawing, do not leave. You need to be in here right now. Okay, I think I got everybody in here. All right, I'll give about another minute in case anybody's coming over from YouTube. And overall turns. Holy, YM straight dumping. Gold just hit our TP. Could have been 2 huge trades on stream today. At least we caught one. At least we caught one, but same exact concept on both trades, guys. Same exact concept. Break a structure, retrace to an order block. All right. I believe. All right, so I have, how many names do I have here? I have 41 names and 41 in the audience. That sounds perfect to me. Oh, good point, Cash. Let's look at that real quick. That might have been 50 of the whole thing. Sorry, guys. I just want to draw this out real quick. We have not hit 50 of that. Unless you're talking like here. Yeah, but I think that's what you're talking about, Cash. That makes sense too. Like I said, you can't really draw a 50 wrong. I'm just always conservative with my 50s, because I would much rather be closer to the low hanging fruit. But all right, let me change screens here. I got change screens on the YouTube stream and here, and we will get this and we'll get this duck race going. All right. All right, it's gonna be a minute duck race. If you haven't witnessed a duck race in the jungle, it's basically just an online duck. It's an online duck race plus EV. You have a duck assigned, and if it wins, you win a free 150K take profit trader eval account. It's a fun little thing we do in the Discord to give out to do our giveaways. All right, so let me get this set up here. All right, got 41 people, 41 names. We're gonna watch it in about 2 seconds here. I'll change screens as well. All right, let me change screens. All right, YouTube should be able to see it now, and Discord should be able to see it right now. All right. I'm not gonna go to full screen. If I go to full screen, it's gonna mess the whole thing up. I'm not doing that again. All right, just double check. 40 people, 41 names. Okay, close enough. All right, good luck. Quack quack. That's a lot of ducks. This is the biggest duck race the jungle has ever done. So you are witnessing history here. Yep. Quack quack. So if you hear random quacking, you would know why. Yeah, it's so much better than just spinning the wheel and having Discord pick the random winner. Shout out to mattress for. No, shout out to KC. Using KC's code with Take Profit Trader is how we're able to do these free giveaways. So, yeah, there's always somebody that comes from the back. You do not want to be in the lead like Plus EV is right now. Uh-oh. Lisa? I think I said it right. Lisa? Lisa? Let's go. She's an original from the a redo. It's rigged. She is an original, I believe, from Dodgy's Discord that came over here as well. So let's go. Yeah, congrats. Well, you just won something. Congrats. You win a 150K TPT account. Get a hold of KC. You know, KC is in here. Okay, he's messaging right now in chat, and he will get you hooked up. But we do these weekly, guys. We do these weekly. Usually we have one for AM stream, one for PM stream. So we usually do them for the premium only, but that is the duck race. Let me change screens back now. Okay. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We always find great fun in that. We need to do like an hour-long duck race at some point, though. I didn't do that heart. All right, let me change YouTube back to the screen. All right, we should be rocking and rolling. I could do that. I could do that. I just like to do it after the macro in case we're in a trade or something, and we're not focusing on a duck race and a macro. But I mean, I guess if it's a longer duck race, though, we could start it. We could start the race at open and come back at 10:30 and monitor it. Maybe we'll do that for the next one. Do an hour long, and then we'll see who the winner is at 10:30. You were in the race, Hodago. That is actually, I think that's the third. We've probably done. I want to say we've done probably 7, 8 duck races for accounts so far, and half of them have been female winners, which is like crazy because obviously the ratio of women to men is pretty significant. So the fact that half of them are females is pretty cool. Because I know Jules won, Lisa just won, Tater Tot won, Spaghetti is a man, more aerodynamic, and the other half has been spicy. Yeah, that's about it. Yep. Oh yeah, so River's next. River's next. Yep. Yep. But it's a good sign for you guys. Yeah, and Mobia. Yep. It's a good sign. You won't give details? Oh. All right, we won't talk about that. All right, guys. Back to the charts. Looks like it was a good TP. We're just kind of chopping now. So hope you guys understand. Anybody need me to go over that trade again and understand so they can understand what I seen there? Got here like yesterday. Yeah, it's doing so. Obviously, we expect the price to slow down here. gold doing? Gold's not closing above. Gold closes over this high. Look for gold to run up to here. You're gonna What's significant about this order block? It's a responsible order block. It's an ROB. It's the same type of order block as, just realized I did not have demonstration mode on. It's the same type of order block as this one right here, right? Last order block before your break of structure. Man, probably gonna regret not holding a runner for the other -4 and a London for NQ. It looks like, but that's all right. Got our green. We're locked. Probably done for the morning. I don't know if anything else. There's enough time for anything else to really shape up here. Later, Lisa. Yeah, enjoy that TPT. We will check back in a week or two. Make sure you haven't blown it. You have to keep us posted. That's the one rule with the free accounts. I am just kidding, but I will say people have had pretty good success. The ones that we've given away have turned into funded accounts. There's quite a few, so the odds are in your favor. Oh, you never used TPT? Oh no. Daily payouts. Oh, nice. Yep. Yep. Daily payouts. It's like a daily ATM machine. All right, guys. So let's see. Where are we? Like I said, hourly order block. The biggest thing was, like I said, no close above. Told the story. Um, so if we closed over, I'd be watching this order block here with a lot more detail, because this would be your responsible order block. It seems so simple. It's because it is simple. Plus CV. Um, it's just like just having context. I mean, I hate to say, like, just context, but I mean, it just drives off of context. Like here we had SMT on the highs, and break a structure to the downside, and the SMT. It just, the risk reward was insane. My stop was, I forget what the stop was. It was basically, if we closed over, so it was like 88 with a 7. It was like a 14-point entry, and I was going for 100 points. So um but you're saying what? So the cases where I wouldn't take it is just like when we're in the middle of, obviously, chop. Um, they don't work nearly as good, but at highs and lows like that, and starting new trends and reversals is where you really want to use them. Same case for gold down here. Like, especially in cases, the best ones play out like that. You run into a higher time frame level, and that it's just your confirmation. Like, and the other thing that was very, very telling to me was this. So this was a bullish ROB, right? This was the last order block before we broke structure to the upside here. What gave me even more conviction was this low was not even strong enough to take us to a new high. And then what happens? It sends us up 50%, as it should, right? Rebalance this little range, and then we go back down and close below. Gives me even more conviction that this should hold, because this low could not even send us to a brand new high. So it's basically like a weak low. But I mean, if you pay attention to ROBs um, and like what you're saying, they're gonna work most of the time. Like I said, nothing's 100% in trading, but they're good for. There's some that, like, like today. Trying to find an example here. Like actually this one right here. Like This one had already hit all-time high, so this is an ROB that I wouldn't take. I instead, what did I do? I used it as order flow instead. If it's not going to hold, what's going to happen? We need to look left if we're going to close through it. And your best ROBs are the ones that get inversed and close through like this one, because what happens? They Your ROBs that get inversed, that they turn into what? This turned into a 1 minute breaker, because it's telling us order flow, price wants to go lower, so we look left, boom. Look for an entry, boom. That's Hope that answers kind of your question. Yeah, the big thing this morning was the big thing this morning was patience. Correct, Hodago. I was not. I had no FOMO here. If Phil wants to go without me, go at it. What did I do instead? I went to a different ticker. I went to a completely different commodity. I went over to gold. Looked at gold. Tried it. I tried an entry on gold. It didn't happen either. So we just sit and we be patient. Now I always wait for a retest. Always wait for a retest of ROBs plus EV. Always. If you want to learn more, there's a playlist on the YouTube. It's under the pathway to the watering whole series. But yeah, always wait for the retest. You don't want to be down here chasing it just because you got an ROB up here. The ROB should be respected. If you close back over it, if we close back over here, then I would assume that we're going back to these highs. But if you start closing above it, below it, then that just tells me we're in seek and destroy PA. Is well. So that's why, because waiting for the retest allows you to have a manageable stop. Because if I'm entering here chasing, my stop's going to be way up here. But here it gave me a 14-point stop, and I was looking for a massive move. Oh, it just happened. We took it right when it formed because the retest happened like right here. Sometimes this candle that closes below will close all the way down here. And then I like the wait because look what happens. So say this candle is not here. So say we go back to replay mode here. Say we go here, and then say our candle going down is all the way down here like this. So look at it this way. So if I draw, say, the 1 minute leg to here, look where my ROB lines up. It's still going to line up right at 50%. So then it's nothing but I can then look to short the retrace back up into that ROB, up back into a premium. It just so happened that today we closed right below and got the retest immediately. But then most times, like I said, if the candle's down here, you come back up here, and this is going to be your OTE level bearish wise, because say this is your leg for potentially, and then you go long back up, you short the RB here, stop above, you're looking for a continuation back down. This thing's looking like a pure manipulation leg. Options, you said it first today, buddy. You said it first. But that's the two big things, I guess, to take out from stream today. Paying attention to manipulation legs that you do not have an entry, look for them to get completely rebalanced. So that was another context. Actually, three things. Look for a sweep and a close back inside the range. Where they break a structure, you can take a short off of that. And this thing's going all the way down. And then just your simple ROB taps with a breaker. So gave me more confluence today was obviously the breaker. The breaker to go with the ROB lined up perfectly. The inverse, I guess it turned to the same thing, but you also had order block, everything supporting price there with a market structure shift. Just very, very textbook. Yep, exactly. So yeah, you have to consider where it's coming from too. Yep, like yesterday, let's see if London's was a good example. So London was a really good example too. So on your 5 minute, this would have been your 5 minute ROB, right? basically these two. Obviously, your better one would have been just just looking at a single one, but since they're both there, we'll draw them out. What you can already see it, right? You had a break of structure here on the 5 minute to the downside. This did not hold, right? This did not hold. Same instance as up here this morning. This did not hold. What happens? We close through it. It turns into a breaker. What does price do? Retest it. Off we go. So, and in this case, this probably would not have been one that I shorted because I was bullish coming into today. Because if you look left, we're an hourly discount, all that good stuff this morning. But the same exact instance, just on a bullish side, this morning that happened in London. But yeah, so like that, coming out of like an hourly discount, like you said, that's perfect. And like because we're in an hourly discount, I would, if I was to short this, I would take it very very lightly, or just not take it at all. So like if we're in an hourly discount, for example, here, and this is here, I really don't want to be shorting, right, in the first place. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use that ROB as a we use that ROB as an order flow indicator more so than an entry, right? If we continue to hold it and take a new leg, what do? I continue to sit on my hands and just wait. I wait until one of them gets blown through, potentially turned into a breaker, like this turned into a breaker, just like it did up here, and then you can use it for a long entry because you're breaking structure to the upside, and then pushing higher. So if because price should respect ROBs. If it does not, you should be targeting the next swing high. It's telling you everything you need to know about that leg. It should hold. Otherwise, we go to the next swing high. Not always, but it's a very good barometer to give you order flow. Yeah, it sure does. Options. Hidalgo, it does. It does. We called it. We called it. Should have held. Should have held one. That's all right. I think YM's probably back at London by now. It is. Yes, YM should push to -8, which is basically CE of London. Yeah, I don't see much to prop this thing up. Let's see. ES not respecting here. ES is going to tap London. One of these two indices, ES or NQ, is going to tap London. Very very rare we do not get a retest of London. In either way. So I hope that makes some sense. Plus EV. If not, you can shoot me a DM. Or like I said, there's a lot of information in the Pathway to the Watering Hole series as well on my YouTube. Ooh. I'm not a huge fan on the higher time frame where ES is bouncing from here, but ooh. And ES put in a bearish order block here off of those highs. Avon, what do you think of this breaker? On ES. You can take it? All right. Let's see if NQ might potentially get one as well. What did I have drawn there? Oh, we're in the hourly order block on NQ. NQ did not put in a bearish order block. Just came back and retraced to this one. Low hanging fruit would be up here, I would say. All right, so in terms of structure, let's see what we have working for us here. So we made a bullish 1 minute order block here. So this was technically a swing up. We had a close below. We did not put in. Okay, so we had a swing up here, swing up here. So this would be your 1 minute breaker structure as well to the upside if we close above this with a breaker. Not wanting, remember, if we're truly bearish here, we should not get this breaker. Did ES get it? Oh, ES already got it. ES already got the breaker and the retest. NQ does not look like it wants anything, no. I said, I am not personally taking this. I am not looking along. Just now, if this had a lot more like a V shape and it got the breaker in like 1 or 2 candles, yeah. But the more it just slops here to sideways and then slowly gets over it, far less likely to play out. Gold's still going. Gold got the close above, so I think any kind of retrace for gold back to 50 could be a nice continuation long, assuming we do not get up to this order block on the 15. Up to 33.27 is the next low hanging target for gold. Yeah, there's just not enough here right now for NQ. Volume's kind of drying up, getting into the lunch hour as well. No, but this is your ROB for this one. ROB is technically this doji, but dojis aren't very, very hard to trust. So I'd much rather go with the upper candle for the ROB. We're trying, Casey. We're trying. Contact is made with the winner. Yep, absolutely. But looks like we're just going to continue lower. And this is a bullish breaker for ES. And if it's remember, if breakers are not going to hold, your bias is definitely wrong. It's kind of the same thing with ROBs. If they don't work, change your bias to the way that they are telling you. They are your shining light. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to I think I'm going to call stream there. Awesome day, awesome stream. Anybody have any questions about anything before I sign off? I'll hang around for a minute or so for any questions. If not, my DMs are always open. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, come check out the jungle. Great community. We do this daily. You won't find a cheaper Discord for the amount of streams that we that we put in for everybody. So appreciate everybody hanging out. Thanks, Jules. Congrats to Lisa again for the TPT. Like I said, we do that on a weekly basis. Think we've got a really awesome community here. We're not very big, but we come with big value. So All right, guys. Hope everybody does well. Trade safe and going into the afternoon. Remember, Plyo will be here around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. He'll be on YouTube and back on the same stage here in the Discord. And we'll be doing this again for another 2.5 hours up until close. So with that, take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time. Peace.